I went to the beach to relax and ended up discovering my husband's betrayal. Because, of course, the cheated wife can't even sunbathe in peace. It was Saturday, and I had the day off from work. My friend sent me a message, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I replied, "Oh, nothing, just at home." My husband was working on a Saturday, but fine, no big deal. He usually didn't work on Saturdays. Small detail. Then my friend said, "I'm going to the beach. Want to come with me?" And of course, since I wasn't doing anything, I went. I sent my husband a message to let him know, but it didn't go through. I thought, what a shame, right? But anyway, he was already informed that I was going to the beach because we had an agreement. We could go out, but we always had to inform each other. Of course, my husband didn't tell me about the other things in his life. So far, so good. I got ready, looked amazing, took my motorcycle, and in 10 minutes I was already at the beach. I didn't live very far. We arrived, set up our things on the sand, ordered something to drink, and started enjoying ourselves. We were there chatting peacefully when suddenly, we started hearing murmurs from the people around us. They were saying things like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it," and "How can someone do that?" We looked at each other, thinking, what could have happened? We looked around but didn't see anything. People kept commenting as if it was some huge scandal. Then someone from the group next to us said, "Let's go," and stormed off, completely outraged. We didn't understand anything, neither did my friend. We looked everywhere and still, nothing was happening. Time passed, we forgot about it, and continued enjoying the day. But soon after, another couple sitting ahead of us also started commenting loudly, "I can't believe it." And of course, we thought, but what's going on? What is so unbelievable that we're not seeing? My friend, who is the queen of gossip, said, "I'm going to ask what's happening." By then, we were already worried and dying of curiosity. The beach was crowded, and many people around us were talking about something we didn't understand. My friend got up to ask and came back pale as a ghost. I looked at my friend, waiting for her to say something, but she just stood there, frozen, with wide eyes and her mouth slightly open, as if she had seen a ghost. "What is it?" I asked, already feeling my heart race. She didn't answer right away, just glanced around, as if checking if anyone was listening. After a long sigh, she leaned closer to me and whispered, "You won't believe what people are saying." My mind started racing, trying to imagine what could be so shocking. Was there someone famous here? Had something serious happened? Tell me already. I insisted, feeling impatience grow inside me. My friend swallowed hard, took a deep breath, and said, "It's your husband. He's here, and he's not alone." For a moment, my body froze. I blinked a few times, trying to process those words. "It can't be. He's at work," I said, trying to laugh it off to mask the suffocating feeling rising in my chest. That's what I thought, but people are talking about what he's doing with her. The last part of her sentence hit me like a punch in the stomach. I felt dizzy, as if all the warmth of the sun had suddenly vanished, and a strange coldness ran down my spine. "Where?" I asked, standing up almost automatically. My friend hesitated, trying to grab my arm. "Are you sure you want to see?" I let out a dry laugh. Of course, I wanted to see. I needed to see. I needed to confirm with my own eyes that it was a mistake, that it wasn't him. Because it couldn't be. He would never do this. Right? I walked with firm steps, but inside, I was shattered. The murmurs of the people around me seemed distant, as if I were in a bad dream I wanted to wake up from. Every step I took brought me closer to the truth, and at the same time, I wanted to turn around, pretend I knew nothing, that everything was fine. But it was too late. And then I saw. There he was, my husband, the man I shared my life with, the one I trusted blindly. He was there on the beach, our beach, doing that with another woman, in the middle of everyone, as if nothing else mattered, as if I didn't exist. My heart stopped for a moment, and then started beating so hard I could hear it in my ears. The woman he was with was a complete stranger to me, young, beautiful, and completely at ease. She laughed, touched him as if he belonged to her, as if I had never existed. I felt my eyes burn, But I didn't let the tears fall. Not there. Not in front of that public humiliation. The people around us kept looking, whispering, some discreetly, others staring shamelessly, with expressions of shock and disapproval. And him? He didn't even notice the people nor me. He was lost in the moment, without any shame. My friend slowly approached, trying to pull me away. Let's go, you don't need to see this. But I did. I needed to. I needed to burn that image into my mind, to feel every piece of that pain because I knew it would change me forever. I stood there, frozen, for longer than I should have, observing every detail. The way he smiled, the way he touched her, how they seemed so comfortable, as if this was normal for them, as if they had done it before. And maybe they had. That's when it hit me. This wasn't the first Saturday he worked. It wasn't the first time he left without notice, forgot to reply to my messages. Suddenly, everything started to fit together like a cruel, inevitable puzzle. How many times had he lied to me? How many times had he left me alone, thinking everything was fine, while he was doing this somewhere else? I felt a mix of anger, disgust, and a horrible sense of betrayal crushing my chest. I wanted to scream, to confront him right there, to throw everything in his face, but at the same time, I knew he didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve my reaction or my pain displayed for everyone to see. I took a deep breath and turned away without saying a word. My friend followed, holding my arm tightly, probably afraid I would break down right there. But I didn't. Not at that moment. I got on my motorcycle, put on my helmet, and left as fast as I could. The wind hit my face, but it wasn't enough to erase the image of him with that woman. Every detail was burned into my memory like an unwanted tattoo. I felt numb, as if nothing made sense anymore. I arrived home and sat on the couch, staring into space. The silence in the house now felt heavy, suffocating. Everything here had his presence, and at the same time, it felt so distant. I picked up my phone, looked at the last message I had sent him, still unanswered. And then, without thinking twice, I typed a single phrase, "I saw you." I didn't wait for a response. I didn't want to hear excuses. I didn't want explanations. Because there was nothing left to explain. What I saw was enough. After typing the message, "I saw you" on my phone, I stared at the screen for a long time. The image of him, in that hidden corner of the beach, an area already known as a refuge for couples who want it, that would never leave my head. It was like a mental tattoo, burned into my memory. Every laugh, every touch, the way he was so comfortable with that woman as if I had never existed. I took a deep breath and, before pressing send, something inside me screamed, no. This wasn't how it was going to end. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction of knowing he had destroyed me so easily. I deleted the message. He didn't deserve to know that I saw him. He didn't even deserve the satisfaction of imagining what I was feeling. If he wanted to play this game, I could play too. I remembered something. Or rather, someone. His best friend, the one who had always been a little too kind to me. The one who gave me lingering looks when my husband wasn't around. The one who, on a few occasions, had let slip comments that a committed man should never ignore. And there I was, sitting on my couch, my heart pounding furiously, and a rage boiling inside me. I made a decision. I grabbed my phone and, without hesitation, searched for his name in my contacts. My hand trembled slightly, not from fear, but from a strange adrenaline that made me feel more alive than ever. He answered on the second ring, his voice slow and filled with that irritating confidence. "Hey, how's it going?" I swallowed hard and smiled, even though he couldn't see me. "Hi. I was thinking, do you want to meet up today?" There was a moment of silence on the other end of the line, and then he laughed, surprised. "Wow, are you sure?" "Yes, I am." We arranged to meet at a discreet hotel on the other side of town. I chose the place on purpose. Nothing too flashy, but not cheap either. I didn't want him to think I was desperate or lowering myself to the same level of cheap betrayal as my husband. I was going to do this with class. I wanted him to see what he had lost. When I entered the hotel room, I looked around, taking in every detail. The neatly made bed with impeccable sheets, the heavy curtains blocking out the daylight, the soft lighting giving the room an almost too intimate feel. He was sitting on the edge of the bed, looking at me with a mix of desire and doubt. "I can't believe you actually came," he said, running a hand through his hair, nervous. I smiled, walking slowly towards him, feeling the power in each step I took. Why wouldn't I? Things happened quickly. He wasn't like my husband. There was a hesitation in his touch, as if he knew he was stepping into dangerous territory. But I didn't hesitate. I wanted this. I needed this. Every touch from him was like a direct response to the pain I had felt on that beach. A twisted kind of justice that only made sense to me in that moment. And then, in the middle of the most intense moment, I reached for my phone, which I had strategically placed next to the bed. I called my husband on a video call. When the screen showed that he answered, his face appeared confused, his brow furrowed. He was probably at home, sitting on the couch, relaxing after his workday. But when he realized what he was seeing, his expression shifted from confusion to shock. His eyes widened, his mouth opened as if he wanted to say something, but he was speechless. His best friend's hand slid away from me instantly, and he pulled back, sitting on the bed, pale. "What did you do?" he murmured, looking for me to the phone, which I still held firmly, showing every detail. I looked directly into the camera, staring at my husband as if it were the last time. He said nothing, didn't blink, didn't breathe. "You owe me an explanation," I finally said, my voice filled with a venom I never thought I was capable of. "And I'm just collecting what's due." His best friend was still there, completely embarrassed, trying to fix his clothes and figure out what to do. "Why did you do this?" he asked nervously. I turned to him and gave a cold smile. "It was necessary." My voice was low but firm, filled with a resolve no one could question. "And it's none of your business." I ended the call before my husband could react, before he could stammer out any pathetic excuse. I didn't want to hear it. I wanted him to see. I wanted him to know that I was capable of giving back in kind, or maybe even worse. I stood up from the bed, grabbed my bag, and looked at his friend, who was still speechless. "This never happened," I said before walking out the door, leaving him there, confused and regretful. As I stepped out of the hotel and breathed in the fresh air, I felt a strange sense of relief. It wasn't exactly victory, but it was something. My phone buzzed in my pocket, and when I pulled it out, I saw several missed calls from my husband. I ignored them all. He was panicking, desperate to talk to me. I smiled to myself. He deserved to suffer a little. He deserved to feel what I had felt on that beach, in front of everyone. I hopped on my motorcycle and sped through the city, with no particular destination. Maybe I didn't know yet what I would do about my marriage, but one thing was certain. He would never underestimate what I was capable of again. I got home with my head buzzing, but a discreet smile on my face. My phone wouldn't stop vibrating with his calls. I knew he must be panicking, trying to figure out if what he had seen was real or some cruel trick of fate. And me? I just wanted to savor the taste of my revenge a little longer before facing the inevitable. I dropped my keys on the table and walked to the mirror in the living room. I looked at myself for a few seconds, taking in the woman reflected back at me. A woman who, just a few hours ago, felt destroyed, humiliated, but who now had an unexpected strength pulsing within her. I grabbed my phone, took a deep breath, and dialed. He picked up on the first ring. "What the hell did you do?" His voice was furious, filled with rage and desperation. "How could you? With my best friend?" I sat on the couch, crossed my legs, and smiled, knowing he couldn't see me. The calm in my voice was almost theatrical. "You want to talk about courage? Funny. I thought you had plenty that Saturday." I paused for a moment, feeling the silence from his end of the line. "At the beach, in that hidden little corner where you thought no one would see you." His silence was deafening. I knew exactly what was going through his mind. He was reliving the moment, trying to understand how I found out how I ended up there. What? What are you talking about?" He tried to fake ignorance, but his voice wavered. I laughed, a soft, cruel laugh. "Do you really think that place was so secret?" "Oh, sweetheart, there's an exact angle from the beach, right near the snack bar, where you can see everything. Every single thing. And everyone saw it. I said, feeling his humiliation twisting inside him like slow-acting poison. People were whispering, murmuring, and there you were, so comfortable. He swore under his breath. I could picture him running his hand through his hair, pacing back and forth, his pride shattered. This has nothing to do with it. He tried to argue, but his voice was weak. I can't believe you stooped so low. With my friend, for God's sake. I crossed my arms, feeling a bittersweet satisfaction washing over me. Well, let's just say your friend isn't just good at being a friend. I let the words hang in the air, enjoying the insinuation, knowing it hurt him more than anything. You're kidding me, right? He shouted on the other end. Kidding? I sighed, pretending to be bored. You gave me a gift, darling. I just returned it. Now we're even. And, by the way, your friend is pretty talented. It's a shame you never figured that out before. I heard a loud noise on his end, something falling. Maybe he had thrown his phone against the wall. I knew he was losing it, but I didn't care anymore. He cheated first, he underestimated me, and now he was tasting the bitter flavor of betrayal. You're a vindictive bitch. He spat the words out with hatred. I laughed again, this time louder. And you're a predictable idiot. Did you really think you could do what you did and get away with it? Did you think I'd keep being the devoted, understanding wife while you played the single guy? He stayed silent for a few seconds. I made a mistake. His voice came out low, almost pleading. I didn't mean to hurt you. Oh, shut up. I cut him off, feeling my heart race. You never cared about that. What hurts you now is your bruised ego. The idea that someone could do to you what you did to me. But here's the difference. I had class. I didn't do it on a dirty beach, in front of everyone. I chose a hotel room with clean sheets and a nice view. I respected myself more than you ever respected me. More silence. I could practically feel his humiliation spreading from the other end of the line. What do you want now? Are you going to throw this in my face for the rest of my life? I took a deep breath, and this time my voice came out firm and without hesitation. I want a divorce. What? He blurted out, as if he hadn't heard correctly. You heard me. I'm divorcing you. I've already talked to a lawyer. I want everything settled as soon as possible. You're not serious? I've never been more serious in my life. It's over. I've wasted too much time and energy on something that was never real to you. Now it's my turn to move on. He started saying something, some pathetic attempt to convince me, maybe empty promises that weren't even worth listening to anymore. But I had already made my decision. Good luck with your little beach escapades, I said coldly before hanging up. I tossed the phone onto the table and took a deep breath. The relief was immediate. There was nothing holding me back to him anymore. For the first time in a long time, I felt free. I walked to the window and looked outside. Life went on, people carried on with their routines, and I was ready to start over. I knew the road wouldn't be easy, but I also knew I would never again allow myself to be underestimated, betrayed, or disrespected. I smiled, feeling stronger than ever. Life had just taught me a valuable lesson, and I was ready to move forward without looking back.